This right here is the final moments of the life of Charlie Kirk. Out of interest, it's neither here nor there. Actually, no, it is either here or there. It actually is relevant. The final question he was asked was this.
I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America?
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America? Was asked to him. The question was coming from a turd, a left-wing douche, who was going to make the point. I believe he was getting... The topic was trans shooters, because I think there had recently been a trans shooting, a mass shooting type event, and it's not lost on me that the guy who shot and killed him was a bundle of sticks who was upset at him for his beliefs about trans people. So he was an advocate for the trans, and this question is about the trans. So this guy right here he doesn't care about mass shootings. He's trying to run cover for trans people who do mass shootings. And the logic is they don't do it that much. So you could hide behind the fact that, well, more non-trans people do mass shootings, which is obviously true. It's not really the topic. And also it comes down to per capita and percentages. And I'm not even saying trans people per capita do more shootings. I'm not saying that. The whole point is that the guy is an advocate and has a mission, an agenda. And the agenda is defend trans people. Make it so that trans people are the victims. They do nothing wrong. So like even in a case like suicide, where you talk about the trans suicide rate, they don't get credit for killing themselves. Like the final insult to their agency is like, you didn't even kill yourself. That wasn't even you doing that. That was you being a victim of other people. Other people made you do that. And so similarly, they'd run cover, and if a trans person started shooting people, they'd say, well, they were pressured into it because transphobia. And so Charlie, in response to this, asks for clarification, and he asks the following follow-up.
Over the last 10 years.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
And that is a very astute follow-up, because this is a man who has done his research. And let me explain to you how the sausage is made. They don't count gang violence in mass shootings. Often, mass shootings has become the darling for the far leftist, or just the leftist, or the liberal, or the white guilted. It is something that they will use. It's a fabricated genre, a category, where they want to gerrymander the situation so that white people are the culprits. And so they will do something as ludicrous and indefensible as, if it's gang related, it doesn't count. Now, there are dead bodies and mass dead bodies, so technically it's a mass shooting, but they'll be like, nah, but that was a gang thing, or that was a drug thing. So we don't want to count that. We just want the virgin white guy who just went berserk and started killing, like Columbine. We want Columbine, and it's a new category of just Columbine-esque shootings. And we are trying to cobble together a narrative that white people, you're the criminal ones, you're the violent ones. And we will give a massive pass to everybody else. Now, this little conflict was between are trans people even deviant, or are they violent, or, and 5 seconds after, or 1 second after he said this,
Great.
he was shot and killed by a dude who was trans involved. I mean, he puts his dick in a trans. So, trans adjacent. So they do have some violence. They're not exactly the most innocent of doves, but that's a more minor issue, and that's the game being played there. When it comes to blacks and whites in America, it's time for me to circle back, because I did a year-long study into who is doing mass shootings in our country. I was thoroughly unsurprised at what I found, but I am watching right now the Nicholas Fuentes interview. I was about to say debate. It kind of is like a debate with Piers Morgan. There's 100,000 people watching right now. Somebody just wrote tampon. Where was that? Tampon Piers? Okay. Interesting. The interview has gone hostile, and Piers has pulled out some of the most boomer, white, pussified takes on planet Earth, especially about mass shootings. Now, I might just cover this whole thing, but they've been yapping for quite a bit. I do want to get to the part where he brings up shootings. This is peak insanity we're about to delve into.
Cool.
Saying
Out
that.
of
So as a white
interest,
person-
how do you feel about mass shootings at school?
Okay, so on its surface, Piers doesn't care about mass shootings at school. Okay, we're not talking about mass shootings at school. We're talking about dick measuring and chest beating about whites aren't as good as blacks. He's trying to shit on white people and say, look, black crime isn't really a big thing. Let's talk about white crime, is what he's trying to do. But I don't want to talk about white crime to actually talk about the white crime. Like, I don't actually care about school shootings. I just want to say, fuck whites right now. I hear what you're saying. I hear your fuck blacks talk. Technically you're saying fuck black rapists and murderers and, felons. Fuck those blacks. That's technically what you're saying. But all I'm hearing is you saying fuck blacks. I want to say fuck whites. That's his response. And we're going to sit here and we have to walk into and do this dance, this totally retarded gaslighting bullshit, and pretend that now we have to talk about mass shooting. And by the way, this is going to blow up in his face.
I think they're bad.
Yeah. So thanks for the stupid question. Get to the emotional core of your point, which is to say fuck whites. What do you think about mass shootings? I think they're bad, says a guy from Chicago. Okay? Where's this going to go?
Who do you think commits the vast majority of the mass shootings?
I'm sure.
This is crazy. Okay, we're entering into crazy town. Who do you think? Now we're going to per capita madness, but he's also just wrong, straight up wrong. So who do you think commits the most mass shootings? Piers? Black people. 100 million% black people commit the most mass shootings. Not even close. It's not even fucking close. They commit 90-something% of mass shootings, depending on the month. Okay? And I have the facts to prove it. You don't care about that because you're trying to say fuck whites. A white guy did a bad thing once. We live in a majority white country, by the way, so Nick has to hold your hand through the per capita fucking fallacy bullshit, but you're wrong. You're wrong on your pretend gotcha on whites here, and it's going to be shoved in your buttery, melting, aged face.
It's white people.
Right. So how do you feel about that?
I think that white people do more antisocial violence. I think black people participate in more gang violence.
And this is, now we're back to Charlie Kirk. Who does most mass shootings? What was it? Go back. Here it is.
I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Right. So what happens here, and it's scandalous, and it's as immoral as it gets, when there is a mass shooting, there is no czar of mass shooting. Okay, so you have to understand, we're talking about propaganda, we're talking about words, we're talking about rhetorical games that people play to make them feel better. It's the same as have you ever seen, there's women who talk about their weight, and if you're a fat woman, you don't like the word fat, okay? You prefer other words. So if you're describing a fat woman, or if you're writing in a personal ad, and you say, oh, describe myself, okay, I'm 32, female, curvy. Ooh, what does that mean? Curvy, eh? Curvy sounds better than fat, or overweight, or morbidly obese. You are those things, but those words I don't like. I like curvy, I like voluptuous, I like bombshell. I'm a bombshell. There's a underwear line, I believe from Victoria's Secret, called Bombshell. Translation, they're fat as fuck. Okay, these things are tents. They are muumuus. They are tarps that they wrap around that fat, and they sit there, and it's marketing. It is lying. It is words. Humans use words to make them feel better about themselves. The religious people do the shit all the time. People are able and willing to delude and con themselves, and we do this through words. We conceive of our reality. We have a prism, and it is our mind. Our mind uses words and language. Something becomes more real. We take it from the abstract. We bring it into lucid reality through the use of words. And these words are bullshit. When he's talking about mass shootings, he's not really talking about mass shootings. There is no one authority on mass shootings. There is a thing called the gun victims database. It's something online. It's where I got my mass shooting reports from. It is viewed as an authority. Their definition is 4 or more people shot. 4 or more people, I think including or not including the perp. Okay? That is what they call a mass shooting. It's not just 2 people. You could shoot 3 people. That's not a mass shooting. 4 and more is what they're calling it. Okay. Now, there are times where 20, 30 people get shot. Those are like, you could come up with a new word for that. A super mass shooting, like a new word. What happens here, it is a really shameless thing where white fucking dildos like Piers Morgan and pretty much 99% of women on the planet are looking for a reason to hate on white people. And what they do is, if there is a gang-related shooting, doesn't matter if 3 or 4 people are shot, they will not reference it as a mass shooting. They won't reference it as a school shooting. You don't think gangsters are killing people at schools? This happens all the fucking time. It doesn't get put into the category of, quote, mass shooting or, quote, school shooting, because that has been reserved for, this is something we have to hang over the heads of white people. Because there are several white people who have gone berserk, Dylan Roof and whoever, these random, school shootings, Columbine, and there's been a few, several dozen, several hundred. Whatever it is, it's still way less than the percentage of white people in the country, and it's nowhere near the number of black mass shootings. Okay, they do it at schools, they do it at the park, they do it outside the chicken and watermelon shop in New Orleans, they do it in Chicago, they do it every fucking where they are. Okay, they are the greatest killers in our country, and it's not even fucking close. And for you to suggest that there's some category of, I'm talking about mass shooters from dudes with blonde hair named James, actually. Oh, yeah, I guess those guys are primarily white. It is ridiculous that this fucking ancient bitch dinosaur is out here talking about, are you aware that most of the mass shootings are from white people? You've got to be kidding me. We're going to dive into this. I'm going to show you who did the killings, the mass killings in our country. And I have pictures, I have emojis to show you.
I think that's the difference.
What's the difference to the victims?
To witness the rest of this video, sign up at censored.tv. Be sure to use the coupon code ROOM to get 20% off. Or you can head over to subscribestar.com/atheism and join up to receive every full-length new video Devon makes. It barely costs anything to sign up. You know he deserves your support, and you deserve to be entertained by every new video AIU creates. So become a flying monkey and let's go.